Hello, my friends. Do not get concerned and be like, Simon, why are you just sitting there? Why haven't you turned the green screen on? Which is not the right terminology at all. But today I am having some work done on my house and I have no electricity. And let me tell you this, when you have no electricity, all of a sudden you realize how important electricity is. So you may hear some funny noises in the background as well, but I did want to get a video done today because, you know, I do have some time. There's only a certain amount of things I can do, but I do have battery power. So I thought we'd finally address the question that a lot of people have been asking. Now, the big one, and I think people are looking into this, we've already talked about it, so we're going to move past it, is that come WrestleMania 40, is Seth Rollins going to turn on Cody Rhodes, which means the Bloodline story is prolonged. I don't think we should do that. It's a very late 90s WWE thing to do. And I think if we have learned anything from the last few days in professional wrestling, sometimes you just want the nice, warm in your tum-tum ending. Did you see everything AEW did with Sting? I was skipping around for at least 48 hours after that. Give me more of that kind of feeling, hook it to my vein. There is a part 2 to all of this, and it's one that I'm actually a little bit more interested in, and that's what we do with Damian Priest and his Money in the Bank. Because look, here is the deal. I'm not saying that it has to be 1 hour long, or even 5 minutes long. But when Cody Rhodes does become the new, brand new, super duper, undisputed champion, which I think will happen at WrestleMania 40, I don't think he has to have a mega long reign. I mean, 1, we've just done that with Roman Reigns, so anything different is cool. But 2, when you are a mega babyface, you could actually get away with losing the championship relatively quickly, as long as you kind of get screwed out of it, because it means you're back on the chase. And as wrestling has taught us over the years, a babyface chasing the title is sometimes better than actually having it. If you would like some information about this today, go on Wikipedia or Google how often this happened to Stone Cold Steve Austin. He'd win the title, he'd lose the title. He'd win the title, he'd lose the title. It was like a strange game of tennis. I mean, do you remember King of the Ring 1998? Of course you do. But instantly you go to Mankind versus Mick Foley. No, not Mankind versus The Undertaker. But in the main event, it was Stone Cold versus Kane, and Kane won that championship just so he could hold it for 24 hours when the Rattlesnake won it back. And we did that because A, it made everyone at the pay-per-view go, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And B, it made you want to tune into Raw, and you put that message out there that anything can happen. But if Cody was to lose it in 4 weeks, 6 weeks, a couple of months, I actually think that would help his character. And again, he's already won it, so that he can go and get number 2 under his belt. But sure, if you wanted, this is going to be the most overbooked WrestleMania of all time, to have all the shenanigans that are quite obviously going to go down with the Bloodline, have Cody finally win, and then give Damian Priest his moment where he does cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase, meaning WrestleMania 40 goes off air, with the Judgment Day being like, we finally did it, and their music playing, well, that would be quite funny. And you know what? After pondering on it for a while, I think I'd be all right with this. Because it still means that Cody has finished his story, right? Because we still get those 5 minutes of everybody going, oh, Cody Rhodes, you're the best person ever, as he does hold that championship. And also, we already talked about it, it gives you a reason to tune into Raw the following night. Now, I would prefer we did this maybe a couple of weeks out from WrestleMania. But if we are looking to make a splash and we are looking to give Cody Rhodes a first program, it could be Damian Priest for one of 2 reasons. One, when we get to the first pay-per-view, which I believe will be Backlash, or maybe WrestleMania Backlash, Cody can just win it back. Then you're like, oh man, this guy's racking up title reigns like I like to eat donuts. Or 2, you could even do it on a Raw, right? You could absolutely do it on a Raw. Now, I think WWE may want to hold this off because obviously their relationship with the USA Network is ending, and I presume that Cody would be on Raw. But now I've said that, he could be on SmackDown. But either way, the relationship with Fox is ending in that sense, because obviously SmackDown is going back to USA, whereas Raw is going to Netflix. It's oh so confusing. But if you are trying to capitalize on the fan base that are probably going to tune in after WrestleMania, at least for a couple of weeks, recrowning Cody Rhodes is not the worst way to go about it. Now, of course, it's a little bit worrying for Damian Priest, because while he would be a made man, in the sense he won it at WrestleMania 40, and he'd be the last dude that you did see, if he did then lose it within 24 hours or a couple of weeks, I don't know that he has the same kind of relationship, I suppose, with the fans or with whoever that Cody Rhodes does in order to sustain that. But when you start thinking about the alternative, when does he cash this in? And who's he going to cash it in on? Unless he's going to be like a good dude and say, hey, Cody, I'm going to challenge you on this day and you better be ready. And you could do that at Backlash. At the same time, there have been a lot of teasers that maybe Damian Priest turns face, so maybe someone screws him out of the briefcase entirely. Maybe it's R-Truth. No, we shouldn't do that. That would be a bad idea. Also, that wouldn't make Damian Priest a babyface. It would make R-Truth the greatest person ever. I think my biggest worry with all of this is that I do think The Rock and Roman Reigns will win WrestleMania Night 1. So now the Cody versus Roman Reigns match will be a Bloodline Rules encounter. That's going to involve a lot of people. You're going to get Jimmy Uso, you're going to get Solo Sikoa, you're going to get Seth Rollins, you may get Drew McIntyre, The Rock has got to do something. We're already up to 6, and that's not including the 2 people that are meant to be in the match. Rikishi has teased that he may be doing something, there's Jey Uso too, maybe he wants to get super revenge on his brother, I don't know. And there's also the dumb but greatest fantasy booking out there that I would kill a man for this to happen, and that's because The Rock is now a bad guy. Stone Cold Steve Austin could return, because it is WrestleMania 40, and we get one last hoo-ha between those guys. Now look, it wouldn't be a match or anything like that. It would just be a stare down, a punch off, I don't know, maybe they kiss and hug in the middle of the ring. That is crazy, right? If you actually did pull all of that off at WrestleMania 4, you're going to get some of the biggest reactions of all time. Like, if you do have this big brawl and you can't call for the disqualification because it is a Bloodline rules match, and then the glass breaks, I'm absolutely going to cry. Happiest man ever. It would be so damn good. But if that then allows Cody Rhodes to win and everything calms down, and then here comes Damian Priest. I think some people in the crowd, they may kill over and die. And I will know this because I'll be one of those individuals. I'm not going to be able to handle it. Ignore that bleeping, I don't know what it is. It sounds like I'm in a hospital room. Someone's coming back to life. I presume my electrics are turning back on. But it is a super interesting situation. I think the fact that we have arrived in this territory probably means people are dialed in and they just don't know what direction it's going to go in. Now, as far as I'm concerned, it seems pretty obvious to me that Dwayne Johnson is going to go, ha ha, I've infiltrated the Bloodline and secretly I wasn't on your side at all. I was always with Cody. But then how do you get to night 2 from that? Because I think the Bloodline has to win night 1. I think that's a given. Otherwise, why even put the idea of a Bloodline rules match on the table? But how does The Rock then turn around and go, oh, I beat Cody and Seth and put Cody in a more precarious situation? Because even if The Rock has decided, don't worry, Cody, I will fend off Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa and everybody else that comes down, it'd be a lot easier just to ban those people from ringside altogether. So I think this probably does underline the fact that we are kind of going week to week here, and it was meant to be The Rock versus Roman Reigns. But then fair play to WWE. They saw the crowd reaction and they did turn course. But I cannot believe we don't get out the other side of the pay-per-view premium live event. And we're not looking to get Roman Reigns versus The Rock either, which of course can happen at WrestleMania 41, or wherever the hell you want to do it. Maybe we do it in Saudi Arabia. There's a rumor out there now that the Saudi Arabia show this year is going to be even bigger than ever, because WWE is trying to do this with all their major events. You tell me. I very much do enjoy the discourse, though. I think it's super duper fun. And ultimately, WWE can go out there and do whatever the hell they want, because even if they do ship the bed and they give us the worst WrestleMania of all time, that's totally fine with this ball asshole, because it means I get to talk about stuff on the internet. And I think that's become my favorite thing about wrestling now, not to repeat myself, but it's the discourse, and it's the chats, and it's the engagements, and it's the conversations. Of course, there are those people that cross over the line and just go so crazy and get mad at me because I gave one show a down 76 years ago. When you do meet the normal the normal humans that are happy to engage in this kind of chat with you, I think it's great, and everybody has a different kind of idea. A lot of them are terrible. Not gonna lie, a lot of them are so strange, especially those people saying that Roman Reigns has to win. He has to beat that Hulk Hogan World Championship record. No, he doesn't. No one actually cares about records deep down. I like the fact that WWE have updated theirs, because a lot of them from the 80s and maybe the early 90s. And now we can say, hey, look, this brand new crop of superstars are just as good, and we have the numbers to prove it. But we've done it enough, right? We've done it enough. Rhea's held hers for ages. Roman's held his for half of lives. Gunther's done it, and there's probably somebody else. But EO has held it for a while too, which is another reason I would say that Cody doesn't need to hold it for that long as well. I don't want it to go the other way. I don't think we should flip-flop and all of a sudden do a 180, but we do not need a super long title. Roman Reigns can lose that championship and it actually be benefit to him, because then he can come like a brand new character and he can tell different stories. And I understand that Cody Rhodes not winning it at WrestleMania 39 actually did help, but I think you need to be careful here. I really think he needs to walk away as the champion. I can only speak from my vantage point. Otherwise, I'm going to get a little bit bored of it. The only way to continue on this, though, is to make sure you leave a comment below and let me know what you think about all of this. And don't mention, oh, this is crappy. Yes, I know it looks ridiculous, but I'm doing what I can. Like the video, share it, and subscribe. Hit the bell, ding, ding. So other videos going live. There is a video on the screen. Please do give it a click. Otherwise, it's grillermind.com/Simon. Just go to Simon to get 10% off and sometimes even more money. Keep an eye on the site. Patreon.com/Simon316. It's Simon316 on social media. It's Simon J. Miller on the TikTok. It's Simon Miller on Cameo. It's Pro Wrestling Tees and Samson Athletics. To search for my name on those sites to buy merchandise. And otherwise, that's it. We're like a month away. I haven't got any clocks up on the moment. Like a month away from WrestleMania. So we've still got a lot of card to figure out. But at the moment on paper, it is looking pretty damn good. I mean, I assume the night 1 main event will be the tag. The night 2 will obviously be Cody versus Roman. We've got Bayley versus Io Sky. You've got Becky versus Rhea. We're going to have the Usos going at it. And who knows what else. Got sort of the Gunther program out too. I think it's probably going to be Gunther versus Chad Gable. But if it's not, it's Gunther versus Sami Zayn. And am I going to get mad about that? No, I'm not. In many ways, I'll be pushing for Sami Zayn. That dude deserves a title. Do another video on that soon. Goodbye.